At the beginning of the film, we see a woman who seems to be running away from something in a snowy forest. Shortly after, a lumber truck crosses the road while the woman appears to be chased by someone. Due to exhaustion, she faints and falls onto the lumber truck below. The scene then shifts to someone reporting about women who have gone missing in the area recently. The next scene shows a man named Walter, who works as a detective. Walter has a daughter named Faye and a wife named Angie. That day, Angie scolds Faye for using her social media without privacy, which leads Walter to reprimand Faye. Then the scene moves to a girl named Lara dining with a man. Afterwards, they are seen heading to a room. In the room, the man tries to have sex with Lara. After taking off his clothes, the man is hit with a stick by a man named Cooper, and the man faints. Elsewhere, Walter is seen going to a crime scene and investigating the death of a young woman on a lumber truck, who turns out to be the woman shown at the beginning of the film. The unfortunate woman appears to have been tortured before falling onto the lumber truck. In short, Walter is now in his office with another man named Harper. They discuss the body of the woman they suspect was kidnapped by an abductor. Walter then goes to the hacker room of his office and meets a woman named Rachel. Walter asks Rachel to investigate his daughter's social media activities. The scene shifts to the man who is tied up by Cooper. It turns out that the man has already been neutered by Cooper. Cooper believes that such a man should be allowed to live without lust. Meanwhile, Lara is seen waiting outside the room. The next day, Walter and other officers go to investigate the place where the unfortunate woman fell. Cooper and Lara are seen at their home. Cooper gives Lara an earring equipped with a transmitter implant, and Cooper can monitor Lara with it through his computer and phone. At the police station, Walter asks Glasgow and Quinn about Faye's file. They both then said that the files had been taken by Rachel. He also sees that Glasgow brings his baby when he works. Later that evening, Walter invites Faye to stay at his house. Walter then leaves Faye alone at home, and then he goes back to work. Meanwhile, Lara is seen waiting for a man in a restaurant, but the man she's waiting for never arrives, causing Lara to leave. As she exits the restaurant, Lara is passed by a car. Cooper enters the restaurant and asks the waitress about Lara. However, the waitress said that Lara had left the restaurant earlier. Cooper was shocked and immediately tracked Lara's location. After locating her, Cooper chased Lara, who was still nearby, but his car was hit and skidded, causing him to lose track of Lara. A man approached Cooper. Cooper pushed the old man away. The old man then called the police, and the police took Cooper to the station because they thought he was driving drunk. At the station, Cooper was interrogated by Rachel and stated that his girl was kidnapped, asking the police for help in finding her. The police quickly moved because they could track Lara's location through her earrings. They arrived at a grand house. Walter entered the house and searched for Lara. In short, Walter found a young woman named Julie, who was held captive in the basement of the house. Walter also subdued a man across the hallway and found Lara held captive in the house. Julie was taken to the hospital due to severe trauma from the captivity. Meanwhile, Lara, who was also in the hospital, was picked up by Cooper and invited to go home. Lara was very disappointed with the police because of their slow handling of kidnapping cases. The man captured in the house was taken to the police station and interrogated by Rachel. The man, named Simon, appeared to have autism. The police then gave Simon an air pump and made Simon scared. The next day, the police investigated Simon's house and found many pieces of evidence of his crimes. At the hospital, Walter watched over Julie, and Julie's father came to hug her. Walter returned home and found Faye asleep on the couch. He covered Faye with a blanket, while Lara entered a room in her house and took a picture of Cooper's family. It was revealed that Cooper's wife and daughter had died due to excessive rape, causing trauma in him. At the police station, Walter and Rachel were surprised by Simon. Walter said that many unknown DNA samples were found at Simon's place. Walter returned home and was asked by Faye to rest. Meanwhile, the police were still inspecting Simon's house. Shortly after, gas spewed from the roof of the house, instantly killing the 6 policemen inside. The next morning, Walter receives a call from his colleague reporting that 6 policemen have died at Simon's house. Harper is furious in Simon's interrogation room and informs Rachel that 6 policemen have died at Simon's house due to poisonous gas. blaming Simon for the incident. The following day, Rachel interrogates Simon again, and Simon is given crayons and paper, but it still yields no results. Harper, having lost patience, demands that Simon be tried and sentenced immediately. Then Quinn, who is about to go home, goes to his car. As Quinn gets into his car, it explodes, killing him instantly. The police are confused about what happened to their colleague. Walter then approaches Simon in his cell and offers him a gun, but Simon ignores it. They suspect that Simon has someone else carrying out his actions. They also investigate the origins of Simon's mother, Amy, who committed suicide. They find information in Amy's records about an abandoned textile factory. Walter tries to go to the textile factory for clues but finds nothing, so he returns to the office. The next morning, at a restaurant, Lara is seen seducing a man as usual. Walter arrives and asks Lara about Cooper's whereabouts. Walter forces the man seduced by Lara to wear handcuffs he provides, threatening that if he does not, Walter will allow Cooper to castrate him. Reluctantly, the man complies with Walter's demands to maintain his desires in life. The scene shifts to Rachel in Glasgow going to Cooper's house, greeted by Lara, who has already arrived. They ask Lara for permission to use Cooper's computer to search for the information they need. Walter then meets Cooper in a library, and they discuss sex offenders and Cooper's habit of castrating, shocking those around them. Walter tells Cooper to stop castrating people who may not be guilty. Back at the police station, detectives have successfully obtained clues from the case they are investigating. They identify an American military retiree named Redstone, whom they suspect of supplying weapons to Simon. The SWAT team immediately heads to Redstone's address. After a confrontation, Redstone surrenders. Walter questions Redstone about selling explosives to someone, but before getting a clear statement, Redstone commits suicide to keep his secret hidden. Meanwhile, at the office, Rachel continues her interrogation of Simon. This time, Rachel interrogates Simon dressed attractively to get him to talk. However, Rachel's beauty still fails to make Simon speak. Instead, Simon hurts Rachel, but fortunately, a policeman secures Simon. The officer also brings a package addressed to Rachel. Meanwhile, Glasgow returns home to find his wife unconscious and his baby kidnapped. Rachel tries to open the package, discovering it's a bomb threat. She then orders everyone in the office to evacuate. Walter and Harper confirm there's a bomb threat at their office and rush there. Meanwhile, Glasgow is confused, searching for his baby, and heads to the police station. He gives Simon a police uniform to be released and takes him away from his cell. Glasgow then allows Simon to leave in a van. Glasgow receives a message on his phone from someone. Meanwhile, the bomb squad is ready, and they open the package. Walter is also present. To their shock, they find that the package is not a bomb but Glasgow's kidnapped baby. Glasgow arrives and tearfully retrieves his baby. Walter then returns home to hug his daughter, who has been kept safe by Angie. Walter talks with Faye, and their conversation moves Angie. Angie then takes Faye to a safer place. Meanwhile, Rachel is still puzzled by the confusing case they're investigating. The next day, Rachel suggests looking for Amy's records at the civil registry office. They watch a video of Amy at her psychiatrist and learn that Simon's father's name is David. Rachel mentions that this man was involved in an accident with Cooper. He recalls the man who crashed his car while chasing Lara. The police immediately head to David's residence. Upon arrival, they find David incapacitated by Simon, and Walter handcuffs Simon. At that moment, Simon starts talking like a psychopath, confusing them. Simon is taken back to the police station, and Rachel interrogates him by showing pictures of the women he killed. Meanwhile, Cooper searches for Lara, who seems to be missing from her home. When he tries to track her, Cooper finds his computer server hacked. He immediately reports to the police, asking them to search for Lara urgently, while Walter and Rachel question Simon in his cell about Lara's whereabouts, but they get no answer from Simon. Simon is then brought before the public to apologize for his crimes, but instead he insults the police who have failed to catch him. Simon is then moved to another location by the police. Cooper is seen following them in a car. Simon, accompanied by Rachel, is on the move. Meanwhile, at the police station, Walter watches a replay of Simon's interrogation and realizes something. He immediately follows Rachel and the group, because something is happening. Cooper then crashes his car into Rachel's, causing their car to roll over. Cooper pulls Simon out and questions him about Laura's whereabouts, but suddenly someone from behind shoots Cooper. Simon then shoots Cooper again, and Cooper dies instantly. It is revealed that there are two Simons. They both then take Rachel away. Walter, who has just arrived at the scene, finds that Cooper has died, and Simon has taken Rachel away with them. Walter then tracks their location at the police station using Laura's tracker. After locating them, the police move out immediately. The Simon brothers are seen wrapping Rachel and Laura and dousing them with gasoline. They then take Rachel and Laura to the middle of a frozen lake. The evil Simon throws flaming balls at them. Then Laura and Rachel manage to escape from their plastic wrapping, and the police arrive at the scene. Eventually, Laura and Rachel are saved. The Simon brothers run and hide in the snowy forest. The police, along with Walter and Rachel, go into the forest to search for the Simon brothers. The evil Simon incapacitates one of the police officers and takes his gun. He also shoots another officer to death. Walter sees the other Simon and captures him, while Rachel is caught by the evil Simon. The evil Simon intends to kill Rachel, but hearing his brother's screams captured by Walter, he changes his mind. The evil Simon approaches Walter, who is holding the other Simon hostage, also holding Rachel hostage. Walter asks the evil Simon to release Rachel, and the evil Simon lets Rachel go. Walter then lets the other Simon go, but the evil Simon shoots Walter. As the two Simons embrace, the ice they are standing on breaks, causing both to drown and ultimately die. Now the lives of the women in the area are finally safe. The scene change. Laura is seen remembering Cooper and grieving over the death of Cooper, whom she considered her father. Meanwhile, Walter is seen about to take Faye to school, accompanied by Rachel. At that time, Faye meets Rachel, and the film ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.